January 17th, 1940. Northern Europe. The air is heavy with frost, iron, and expectation. Snow rests quietly on steel helmets as young men stand in formation, boots stiff, rifles cold against their palms. Somewhere in the distance, a train whistle fades into the gray morning, carrying more soldiers toward a future none of them can yet imagine. At T's moment, the war still feels distant to many. Borders have been crossed, declarations have been made, yet for millions of soldiers across Germany, Japan, Britain, and beyond, World War II is still understood as something familiar, a contest of territory, pride, and victory. Another war like the last, they believe. Difficult? Yes, but manageable. Controlled? Temporary. They are wrong. This moment matters, because it stands at the edge of an unprecedented collapse, not just of nations, but of assumptions. Never before has war been fought on such a scale, with such speed, or with such industrial intensity. The conflict that will soon engulf the globe will not merely redraw maps, it will dismantle empires, transform economies, and permanently alter how humanity understands power, freedom, and survival. In the early months of the war, German soldiers carry confidence sharpened by recent victories. Poland has fallen in weeks. Blitzkrieg tactics lightning war have proven devastatingly effective. Tanks move faster than armies can react. Radios coordinate destruction with precision. The German military believes itself unstoppable, technologically superior, disciplined, efficient. Japanese forces in Asia carry similar certainty. Trained in absolute obedience, they march with conviction that sacrifice is honorable and victory inevitable. Imperial ideology has taught them that surrender is shame, and expansion is destiny. Across the Atlantic, the United States watches cautiously, isolationist by law and by memory. Americans still remember the cost of the First World War. Yet factories hum quietly, and ships slide into harbors heavy with steel, fuel, and food. The nation is not yet at war, but it is preparing methodically, relentlessly. The soldiers of the Axis powers expect conquest. What they will experience instead is attrition, hunger, exhaustion, and an enemy unlike any they have faced before. Not just armies, but production, logistics, and time itself. By 1941, the war has expanded beyond Europe. Japan attacks Pearl Harbor, bringing the United States fully into the conflict. What follows is not merely retaliation, but mobilization on a scale history has never seen. American factories convert almost overnight. Automobile plants begin producing tanks. Refrigerator manufacturers assemble aircraft parts. Shipyards operate around the clock, launching Liberty ships faster than German submarines can sink them. By 1944, the United States is producing one aircraft every 5 minutes. This abundance becomes a weapon. German and Japanese soldiers begin encountering something unsettling on captured or abandoned American positions. Tin cans, crates, cigarettes, chocolate bars, coffee, endless supplies of food packaged neatly, efficiently, consistently. For many Axis soldiers, this is the first time they realize what they are truly fighting. German records from the Eastern and Western fronts document astonishment at American logistics. Soldiers describe encountering warm meals deep in combat zones, medical kits fully stocked, ammunition without shortage, vehicles replaced rather than repaired. *1 recurring symbol appears again and again in battlefield accounts and memoirs. Canned food. Simple metal cans, stamped and sealed, containing meat, fruit, bread substitutes, rations designed to travel across oceans and arrive unchanged. To American soldiers, they are unremarkable. To their enemies, they are evidence of something profound. The war is no longer about courage alone. It is about systems. In contrast, German and Japanese supply lines stretch thin. Allied bombing campaigns devastate rail networks. Fuel shortages ground aircraft. Soldiers march hungry. Horses are used where engines once ran. Letters home grow desperate. By 1943, German internal reports acknowledged the imbalance. Industrial output cannot match the combined force of American, British, and Soviet production. Japan faces even harsher reality. Cut off from oil and raw materials, its navy becomes immobilized. Pilots fly missions with barely enough fuel to return, sometimes intentionally not enough. The emotional contrast becomes undeniable. The Axis soldier expected glory. Instead, he experiences scarcity. He expected decisive victory. Instead, endless retreat. He expected technological superiority. Instead, assembly lines. The sound of war changes as well. Early victories were marked by the roar of engines advancing. Now, the dominant sound is constant, the low, distant thunder of Allied bombers, returning night after night, a mechanical heartbeat of inevitability. Historically documented casualty figures reflect the scale of transformation. World War II will claim an estimated 70 to 85 million lives, soldiers and civilians alike. Entire cities are erased. The Holocaust systematically murders 6 million Jews, alongside millions of others deemed undesirable by Nazi ideology. In Asia, Japanese occupation results in mass civilian deaths across China, Korea, and Southeast Asia. Ideology itself collapses under the weight of evidence. The promise of racial superiority dissolves when confronted by logistical superiority. The myth of divine empire fades beneath industrial reality. The war exposes a truth that cannot be unlearned. Modern power belongs not only to those who fight bravely, but to those who organize society efficiently, inclusively, and sustainably. The United States, for all its flaws, demonstrates a model rooted in production, cooperation, and abundance. Democracy proves capable of mobilizing without absolute coercion. Workers strike deals, not fear. Women enter factories in unprecedented numbers. Minorities contribute despite facing discrimination at home. The system bends, adapts, and accelerates. The canned ration remains present, a quiet, metallic symbol of something larger. It represents planning over desperation, infrastructure over impulse, a society able to feed its soldiers thousands of miles from home, consistently. By 1945, the war ends not with a single victory, but with exhaustion. Germany surrenders in May. Japan follows in August, after atomic bombs devastate Hiroshima and Nagasaki, weapons born of scientific mobilization. As much as military ambition, the world that emerges is unrecognizable. Empires dissolve. Europe lies shattered. The United States and the Soviet Union rise as superpowers. The United Nations forms, imperfect but necessary. Colonial independence movements ignite across Asia and Africa. The ideological battle between democracy and authoritarianism continues no longer on battlefields alone, but through economics, culture, and influence. World War II did not simply change borders. It changed expectations. It taught humanity that war is no longer contained, that ideology can industrialize murder, that abundance can defeat brutality, that freedom, when supported by structure, can outproduce tyranny. And somewhere, long after the guns fall silent, a rusted can lies, half buried in foreign soil, once filled with food, now empty, a reminder that victory was forged not only by weapons, but by the quiet power of preparation, cooperation, and belief in a system larger than fear. The war changed the world forever because it revealed what kind of world could survive and what kind could not.